Welcome to the Business of Black Business, a talk show that interviews Black entrepreneurs and advocates for Black businesses. The topics of conversation include access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Jay Reynolds.
Hi, my name is Jay Reynolds. Are you a Black business or a minority-owned business, and have you ever considered joining a chamber of commerce? You know, the first question you're going to ask, right, is what's in it for me and what's in it for my business? We get the answer to some of those questions today. Are you an HBCU graduate? Are you supporting that HBCU? Are you giving back? Well, guess what? Today, we get the opportunity to discuss in detail both those two topics. My name is Jay Reynolds. I own and operate Wolf Creek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing firm with offices in Birmingham, Alabama, Coral Springs, Florida, and West Palm Beach. We primarily place professionals in finance, accounting, IT, engineering. And welcome to the Business of Black Business. Now, this is a show that's designed primarily to help Black entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs navigate the kind of difficult and the obstacles as it relates to building, growing, and starting a business. It's a unique opportunity to gain access to hear directly from successful business owners or professionals that can help you to launch and grow your business. We want you to hear directly from them. We want you to hear how they did it. We want you to be in the room where it happens. Now, before we get started, you know, the first thing we have to do is thank our sponsors, because we certainly could not do that without these guys. Demesman and Dover, personal injury attorneys. Victor, Desmond, thank you for all you do. And thank you for your support of Black business. Career Source, South Florida, the University of Miami Research Program, all of us, and a new sponsor, AARP. Okay, we have, like I mentioned, a very unique opportunity to interview two of, in my opinion, two of the most influential voices in Broward and Dade County advocating for small and minority-owned businesses. These guys are successful entrepreneurs in their own right, but they've now taken on a new mission. And this mission is primarily to provide opportunity and access for small businesses. Really, really dynamic professionals, and I'm really excited to begin the process of interviewing them. We also have the opportunity to introduce Florida Memorial University, a top-rated HBCU, and discuss their day of giving and how the chambers are partnering with them to provide that support. Now, you already know that I don't read bios, but I will read a snippet just to provide kind of a point of reference. So, Shaheewa Jarrett, Gelin, my friend and one half of a Broward County power couple, and I'm sure that the vice mayor is watching. So, hi, Mike. How things go? How you doing? Shaheewa serves as the general counsel and vice president of compliance for the Gelin Benefits Group, an insurance brokerage and advisory company. She worked as a federal litigator for 17 years. In 2017, she incorporated the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce. The chamber officially launched in August of 2018, currently has over 200 members and is growing rapidly. I am also a member of that chamber and really see the benefits of joining. And I got to tell you, it's the only chamber I'd be a member of, except for the one in Miami, Eric. Eric Knowles has led the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce since 2014. He oversees the operation of the organization by implementing its strategic plans and policies. Eric is a former senior director of government affairs for Sun Life Stadium and the Miami Dolphins. Now, I got to say this, that's really important, that to have a seat at any table, I believe it's really important that you show up. And I can attest to the fact that you two guys always show up. I mean, you guys show up and you become a serious advocate for small and minority-owned businesses. So I really, really appreciate that from a personal note. Sharee Gilbert, Director of Communications and Marketing for Florida Memorial University, one of the top-rated HBCUs in the country. And Sharee, I'm very happy to have you here. Very happy to have you talk about your Day of Giving and how these guys are helping you to make that happen.
Well, thank you so much.
Without further ado, this is the way we play this, guys. I want you to introduce yourself to the viewers and tell about yourselves, your background, who your influences were, and what makes you you. I want people to get a feeling for how you arrived where you are. So some person that's watching this show, some budding Black entrepreneur, minority-owned business person can say, "Hey, look, if they can do this, I can do it too." So let's start with you, Shaheewa. Who are you?
Who am I? I'll give you the short version. It's a very deep question, right? Well, first and foremost, I'm happy to be here and excited to talk about the chamber, share the platform with Eric, and also, get into the Give Day at FMU. But who am I? I am a litigator by trade. Always wanted to be a lawyer and was able to realize my dream and practice law with the federal government for 18 years. And then kind of stepped away from that to work in our family business, Gelin Benefits Group. And in doing so, realized, the struggles of the entrepreneur and the importance of having a plethora of opportunities, not having doors that are closed, because as a small business owner, you can't afford that. You need to have many avenues of revenue. And understood the struggle for small businesses and decided to start the Broward County Black Chamber of Commerce to have that advocate and support for Black businesses in our county. So that's the short version there, Jay.
That is the short version, the Cliff Note version.
There you go.
And you've done an amazing job so far.
Thank you.
And again, ladies first. Sharee, why don't you talk to us about who you are and who your influences are and what has made you you?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity and inviting me to be a part of this conversation. I'm definitely happy to be here to represent Florida Memorial University for our Give Day program. A little bit about me. I'm a graduate of an HBCU as well. So this culture runs deep in my blood. I graduated from FAMU and I am a graduate of the broadcast journalism program. I was a TV news reporter for a couple of years. And then I too went into the entrepreneurial realm where I started a digital marketing company where I was the lead of social media, digital technology, digital marketing, which was very important and still is to this day. Our entire Giving Day will be a virtual experience, but we will have people come in and take photos to then share on social media. So we all know and understand the power of social media. So that has been something that I have taken on and kind of honed my craft in. And I was introduced to the university by a colleague and landed the role of Director of Communications. So I'm here now, very happy to be here. We're getting a lot of great publicity here at the university, and this platform has helped us as well. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Well, thank you again for being here. And say hello to my frat brother. I got to tell you, you guys are in good hands as far as I'm concerned. He is a good man, and I believe that he will certainly make a difference. I'm expecting that to happen.
Dr. Harvey, your frat brother?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Okay. I'll let him know.
I'm sorry?
I'll let him know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, hopefully he's watching if he's doing the right thing. So, Eric, I'll say this about you, Eric. Whenever I go down to Miami to a meeting or something like that, and you're in the room, I feel like I'm in the right spot, right? You are always there, and you're always advocating for small business. You do a masterful job. And thank you for all you do from my perspective in terms of giving back to small businesses and giving them access. So tell us about who you are. Although everybody knows you guys.
Right.
Who are you?
I'm going to condense that as well. Well, I've been running the chamber this spring makes 8 years. And prior to that, actually was on the board of the chamber for many years, probably since the mid 90s, 95, 96. Prior to that, I worked with the Miami Dolphins and the stadium for almost 15 years in several different capacities. Operations, actually ran the stadium for about 4 years as operations director, government affairs, community public relations, media relations. I used to write all the press releases for the stadium. You know, when the Super Bowl came to town, I would write about how many thousands of hot dogs would be consumed, how many gallons of beer would be consumed. So I had to do a little research and do that, you know. And prior to that, I worked for a nonprofit building affordable housing in Coconut Grove. So, you know, that's a little bit about me. I got some other little side gigs that I do.
Sure. Hey, a serial entrepreneur for sure. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
So, Sharee, talk to us a little bit about Florida Memorial. Talk about the rich history of that university. You guys have an amazing aeronautics program. Well, anyway, I won't steal your thunder. Talk to us about what you do, you know?
Well, as you mentioned, we have a lot of great things happening here at our university. We've been here for over 142 years. I mean, that's a legacy within itself. We're the only HBCU in South Florida. We have a number of amazing programs and new programs that we're launching. We just had a press conference this morning where we're innovating a tech hub here on campus so that we can implement cybersecurity, our ITE program, our esports program. Like you said, we have a great aeronautical program as well, computer science. Our School of Arts and Sciences offers so much to our students. Our vibrant campus, we have over 40 organizations that students take part in as well. Dr. Hardrick, our leader, very innovative, very direct and very steadfast on his goals. And so this is one of the goals that we have as well is our Giving Day. Our Giving Day takes place on February 3rd. So we'll go into that, but I just wanted to give an overview of what Florida Memorial is offering, where we're headed, and all the great things we're doing here, not only for our students, but our faculty and staff and the community as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much for that overview. That was actually very helpful. And yeah, you're right. I think you're in good hand. There goes an alpha man. So Shaheewa and Eric, let's talk about this partnership that you guys have with the chamber. And I understand, the little bird whispered in my ear and told me that you guys are going to duke it out and find out who's able to raise the most money. So I'm really curious to know how that's shaping up and how where you guys are. Why did you guys decide to start this partnership? Tell us about it.
Ladies first.
Okay. All right, Eric. Well, I thought it
Eric,
would
you
be
can take the gloves off. You can take the gloves off, Eric.
always a gentleman. No, I
kidding.
appreciate that. I think when you have such a historic and important institution in our community, we want to honor that tradition and we want to be able to support that tradition. If you think about the unique position of our chambers, where obviously we're fighting for current business owners to make sure they have their proper opportunities. But guess what? Our educational institutions are going to produce the next generation of entrepreneurs. So we have to be concerned with the next generation coming out of institutions such as FMU. Another part of that is we have to make sure that these students that are coming out of FMU, that they're ready to work with our small businesses. They're the next, C-suite executives, the next managers of these small businesses, or the next successors of these small businesses. And so it's important that we support these educational institutions that allow our community, the students coming from our community, to feel comfortable on campus, to have the support they need in order to pursue their dreams, because they're coming out into our workforce. And as chambers, we want to make sure our small businesses have a strong workforce. So it's natural to say, let's rally behind FMU for this Give Day, support this historic institution right here in our backyard in South Florida.
Okay, thank you, Eric. What's your perspective?
Well, my perspective is a very, I guess you would say, somewhat deep in the fact that Florida Memorial serves on our board of directors and has been for quite a while. So we, as a chamber, have supported Florida Memorial for many years. as well as Florida Memorial supporting the initiatives of the chamber. But as Shaheewa said, I can't say it any better in terms of the future. Um, the future sits right there in those rooms as they are, matriculating through their courses and graduating and coming into the workforce and becoming entrepreneurs, becoming CEOs of various corporations. And we know today that our young folks, I have a young one, I'm here in Tallahassee right now. Both of us are here in Tallahassee. And that's why you see the backgrounds that you see. But anyway, I have a graduate that graduates in the spring who wants to be an entrepreneur, and I keep asking, well, what does that mean? What So it's obviously up to me as her dad to help guide her through that. But my generation was taught to go out and get a job. These young folks are about, hey, how do I run my own business? And they're doing
Exactly.
that. So
Exactly.
we as the chamber have to embrace that and embrace our young folks and help guide them along that path. So being here to support Giving Day, I don't necessarily look at it as a competition. I look at it as, because the one thing about it is a lot of the members of the Miami-Dade Chamber are members of the Broward
Exactly.
Chamber.
Mhm.
So,
Exactly.
we're going to be double dipping on that one there, in terms of the money that we raise. But
Yeah.
we have a lot of work to do. We know that a lot of our HBCUs don't have the financial girth that they need. So this is what we're here to do, to help support and build up our organizations like Florida Memorial University, the only HBCU in South Florida.
Right. And I totally agree with the approach that you're taking. Hey, it's certainly not a competition like
Mhm.
that. It's just
Yeah,
just a way for us to get as much
Absolutely,
as
the building
buzz.
of yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
have
get
some
as much
fun.
buzz as
Have
we
some
possibly
fun.
can.
Well,
You know
with
what
that
I like?
saying, we're going to kick butt.
Hey, you know what I would like you guys to do? I'm going to get off script just a little bit. Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the Chambers Day on the Hill, or the Chambers time that you guys are, what you're doing right now today? Because I think the work that you're doing is very, very important. Take just a couple seconds to talk about what you're doing.
Well, Shaheewa is the brainchild behind this. So I'm really going to push it over to her. But the work that we're doing in South Florida is being done all over the state.
Yeah.
And so with that, Shaheewa, along with others, we came together to form the Coalition of Black Chambers in the state of Florida. And I'm going to let Shaheewa take it and run with it in terms of what we're doing, what we'll be doing in the next couple of days.
Cool.
No, thanks, Eric. Yeah, this is a special time, and this is our inaugural Black Day at the Capitol here in Tallahassee. In the last couple of years, our community has been through some things, and I think at the end of the day, hopefully we've learned that we have to engage the process. We have to forge partnerships. We have to take control of our own destiny. And that's what this Black Chamber Day at the Capitol is about. So we have about 12 Black chambers from around the state of Florida coming together to advocate not only for our chambers to receive the resources that they deserve and need, because they are the foot soldiers on the ground helping our Black businesses grow and creating jobs for the students coming out of FMU. But also, we're here to advocate for our small businesses, because we have to ensure that the state is spending appropriately and equitably through the procurement and other spending practices. So this is what our 2-day event is about. This, kind of coming together, unified as chambers from across the state to advocate together.
Well, I got to tell you, I really applaud you guys for what you're doing. I strongly believe that we're always stronger together, and our voice is heard. Absolutely. when we collectively raise our voices, right? So I just wanted to kind of give you that plug to be able to tell people what you're doing, because it's important work. What you're doing is very important work. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about.
Right.
Is this Giving Day being replicated throughout the country with other HBCUs, or is this unique to Florida Memorial? And Sharee, I'll let you answer that question.
So there's a donation day that a lot of HBCUs and universities take part in, but Giving Day, to my understanding, is unique to Florida Memorial University, the February 3rd date. So this year we're implementing it, and like you said, we have a friendly rivalry between our chambers. A lot of people have reached out and said, well, I said, well, who are you with? Are you with Broward or Miami-Dade?
Who are you riding with? Who are you riding with?
So everyone's amicable. They're saying, oh, well, we'll split our money in half and we'll give some to Miami-Dade and some to Broward. So it's good to have that feedback. But our goal for this year is to raise $150,000. Last year we raised $100,000, and so what that money does is it helps our students with scholarships, and it also helps our academic programs. So that we really want to focus on that. Like you said, we have a number of great programs here, so we want to make sure that we're using and we have resources to those programs to help our students.
Okay, I'll ask you guys this. You already answered this question one way, but let's approach it a little differently. Eric and Shaheewa, why did you guys decide to take on this specific opportunity? The reason why I asked that question is people come to you all the time about working on programs or projects or whatever. So you have to be very selfish with your time, or very careful with the projects that you take on. Why specifically did you decide, hey, look, this makes sense?
Well, again, it is the only the only HBCU in South Florida. And our partnership, as I said, we have been joined at the hip with Florida Memorial for many years. But again, it goes back to our children, our young adults, and supporting them. We have a lot of young adults who cannot afford to be in school. So raising these dollars to ensure that they stay in school, a lot of young adults they drop out because they can't afford to stay in school. And so doing this is, to me, at the forefront of what we should be doing in order to ensure that their futures are secure. I see, I did not attend an HBCU. I look back and said, I wish I would have. I did go to Miami-Dade and to FIU. I went in, one thing I didn't mention, I went in the Army at 17 and got out when I was 20. And so I kind of took the quick route and the most inexpensive route and went to Miami-Dade, as I said. But as I look back, and I'm proud to say that my daughter, Catherine, is attending FAMU here in Tallahassee. And so we must, when you see what's happening, even look at and what's happening at Southern, at the college to attend a school. So we know, we've gone through that thing of, that their ice is colder than ours. Our ice is just as good, or even, maybe they have a little more flavor, because, we bring the flavor to everything that we do. So if we could get our families, the Black diaspora, to really understand the importance of what that HBCU education is, to me, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree with you more, Eric. I think that, as I was saying earlier, it's like with everything that's been going on, I hope that, people in our community are starting to understand that, no, the ice isn't colder over there. We have to and we must support our organizations and our institutions, because if we're not doing it, then they're not going to be around. And we have to step up and honor that commitment to our own, Black-led institutions and organizations. And I think that's kind of the angle that I'm coming from. I'm a Black institution saying, hey, we're doing some great things, support us as we, support Black businesses, etc. And so we have to turn around and do the same thing. We have to turn around and put, in essence, I guess, our money where our
absolutely.
mouth is.
Sorry, Shaheewa, cutting you off,
Okay.
but the other thing is, you know, we're I don't know, taught or told that we should go to quote unquote whatever particular school that is, maybe even say an Ivy League school, Harvard or whatever. Here it is. We have a vice president of the United States who graduated from Howard University. So we have what it takes to matriculate through life and to rise above, and we just got to support it. It's a simple thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree. I got to tell you this, and I didn't go to an HBCU, but I grew up down the street, walking distance almost from Southern University.
Okay.
Wow.
And so I spent a lot of time in the campus of Southern University, but I followed the scholarship dollars to University of Louisiana, where I went to school in LSU after that. But the point I was going to make is that we had the handful of Black students that were there in the 80s when I was there had no support, right? We were doing it on our own. We were struggling on our own, trying to stay connected on our own. I've always been a little jealous of HBCUs, the way the connection remains for life.
Right.
You are an
Absolutely.
alumni for life. There's no such thing as, hey, look, I went to FMU, or I went to Florida Memorial, or I went to FAM. No. I'm part of the family, right? For life. I've always been very jealous of that. And there's a reason for that. It's because connection, because of the fact the nurturing, it's because of the fact that people there put their arms around you and ensured your success. Let's talk about the financial goals for you guys. Shaheewa, we'll start with you. What are your goals? What are you planning to raise? Put it out there. Put it out there.
On the spot first.
Put it out there.
Look. I already told
I don't
A
think-
lot of money.
I don't think we're ready to step into
I
that.
told Corey already. Look, I think Miami-Dade got an advantage. They in Miami already.
Oh, now come on.
FMU is. So, but I mean, look, we're gonna get out there. We're gonna push not only our members, but I think this is a great opportunity to get the community involved.
Exactly.
For them to say, no, we need to rally behind, this, education institution and all of our Black-led organizations. So, I'm not necessarily putting any numbers out there. I'm just gonna say we're gonna push as hard as we can, so that we're able to give and contribute and help the school out.
And you're going to be spoken like a true politician. But that's okay. That's all right. And I understand it, so we're good. Eric, are you going to do the same thing?
I'm following suit with Shaheewa. I'm not going to sit here and say we're going to do, but we're going to work hard.
Yeah.
We're gonna work hard. But
my job is to put it out there to hold folks accountable, right?
Like Shaheewa said, it's not just an opportunity for our members, but it's a member for the community to come together and really grow this opportunity. And this is the first one thing I will say. This is the first year of this, and we will be back next year. And then next year we'll talk about some hard hitting.
Okay, Sharee, talk to me a little bit about you've already kind of laid out what your goals were. It sounds like you guys were successful getting the $100,000 last year. Now you beefed that up to 50% more to $150,000, which is says a lot. What are some of the other things that you would like to do with the chambers to stay connected with them in time?
Well, definitely, like they put emphasis on our students, right? Making sure that we link them with some of the business owners that are members of their chambers to give out internships or either jobs. So that's something that's really important for our students as well, that exposure to the entrepreneurs and to these businesses. I think that that's a direct link for our students here at our university. So I would like to see that happen. I just want to thank them also for taking part in this. This is not something that they have to do, but when we call them, both Eric and Shaheewa, they are, available. They did interviews for us and they're putting out the word for us. So thank you all so much for taking your time, because I know you all are both so busy, but taking the time to see the benefit and the importance of this initiative that will in turn help our students.
Okay. I want to give both of you guys an opportunity to kind of plug things that you guys have going on in your individual areas. Sharee, let's start with you. What do you get? What's going on? What's new? What's next up and coming with you guys? What are some of the things that you have planned over the course of the next, let's call it 60 to 90 days?
We have so much planned. I don't even know where to start. It's always so busy. I really enjoy being here. We just had a press conference, as I mentioned, that wrapped up this morning where the mayor of Miami, the city of Miami came. We had Ted Lucas. He's the CEO of Slip and Slide Records, and he owns a company called Technolodge. So we're partnering with them to bring a tech hub here to our university. Our band was just ranked #1 amongst HBCUs in Division II. Yeah, we're coming up.
Yeah, so. Ahead of Graham?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to say, but I just know our ranking. So our ranking is #1 in Division II right now. So that's definitely something to be proud of.
That is saying a lot.
Yeah, saying a lot. So it's spearheaded by Richard Beckford. So he's doing an amazing job. We've gotten a lot of recognition on our programs, education being one of them, our aeronautical program being another. And we're getting ready to really, really take off in the ITE world. So we're really concentrating on that. We're partnering with a company called Infiniblaze, and we're trying to bring solar panels and solar energy so that we can introduce our students to that as well. I mean, we have such great things going on. February 3rd, we really want to hone that date in and make sure that people know about Giving Day. Here's the website right here to save the date. We're looking for ambassadors for people to sign up. We can send you, I think if you scroll down more, you'll see it says sign up to be an ambassador. How can you join? Yeah. So we encourage people to fill this out. And what we will do is in turn give out information so that they can post it on their social media and take part and help the cause.
Great. Shaheewa, what about you? What's up and coming with the Black Chamber here in Broward County?
Yeah, well, we have a full month of activities for Black History Month. We start the year nestled between MLK and Black History Month to keep us focused on making sure we're pushing economic initiatives forward. So we have a Black Men and Entrepreneurship program coming up mid-February. We're also partnering with one of our coalition partners, the TJ Reddick Bar Association. They are the Black Bar here in Broward County. And we'll be focusing on Reginald Lewis's huge impact as kind of he meets at the intersection of being a lawyer and a business person. And we want to focus on that huge deal that he made. It was like historic in the 80s, and kind of get his name out there. He's a history maker, and every Black person should really know and understand his name. And then we'll also try to hit some economic milestones here coming up in February and try to focus our members on the outlook for 2020. We just completed that a program that we'll be posting, and we have one coming up on real estate. We really want to get our members to understand, yeah, I get it, you have a business, but you got to diversify too and try to find some opportunities to diversify your income and build wealth. So that is what's coming up for us.
Got it. Great. How about you, Eric? What's up and coming?
What we're doing is focusing on some of the individuals in our community, like Thelma Gibson, Carol Ann Taylor, and telling their story about Black history. We're going to dive in and have conversations with them. Also, just looking at, as Shaheewa said, many different opportunities and how we can engage and bring stories to life so that our youth, again, it's really showcasing folks so that our young folks know what is the history of our community is all about. Really, that's it. But then we do have a relaxed day. We all work hard. So we're going fishing on the 25th down in Key Largo, Florida. So we're having a chamber day out on the sea for those who like to fish. And that's what's happening in February.
Very cool. Very cool. First of all, I want to thank you guys for spending the time to do this. You guys are all very important, very people that have a lot going on. Very important and very busy is really the word I was searching for. Don't know why I couldn't say it. very busy people. You wear a lot of hats, and you spent the time to do this. So thank you very much. It's very important.
One thing before you go, we were talking about February, but we do have our business leaders lunch coming up the first Friday in May. And and Sharee reminded me, I'm working with Ted Lucas. Ted is doing a phenomenal job of engaging with the business community here. We're looking at tech. Ted just invested in a cybersecurity business. And so we're focusing on that. Again, that is May the 6th. And we'll be at the Hyatt Regency. And you'll be learning and hearing more about that as well.
So are you going to be sending out registrations for that, Eric? Is that how that's going to work?
Absolutely. We'll be getting the information out. We're just actually processing it. I actually just sat with Ted on last Friday, ironing out some of the kinks, to get this thing going. So look forward to that.
Yeah, that would be something I'd like to attend myself. So I'm looking forward to it as well. The last thing I want to ask you guys is this. As we have, let's call it again, budding entrepreneurs and people that are thinking about starting a business, from the perspective of a chamber person who talks to small business owners every day, or it's a big part of what you do, leave us with one thing that you can think of that would be, let's call it secret sauce for a small business. What would it be?
Secret sauce.
I would say find someone who is doing what it is that you want to do.
That's a good idea, and just talk his or her ear off. Just ask as many questions. I agree with that, Eric, 100%. And you'll be surprised at how many people will just open the door and show you the keys.
Oh, absolutely, because people like to talk about themselves, and their successes.
Oh, they want to help, even.
Then you have that side as well.
Yeah. I mean, I got to tell you, when I get phone calls from people that want to start a staffing company or ask me how I did this, I got to tell you, I show them everything that I can think of. I really do, because I want them to be successful, and B, hey, we owe it to ourselves to reach back and grab that person that's behind us. So,
yeah.
What about you, Shaheewa?
I think mine is, do the research. I think a lot of times people want to start businesses and they kind of jump out there and say, well, I can cook. Let me start this up or whatever. But they don't look at the market. They don't look at what's trending. They don't look at what the county or the state might be supporting and actually giving money to start. And you may actually have another talent that they're actually supporting, where you can get some funding and stuff that way. So I'd say just put in the time to do the research as to what will make the most revenue, because Black businesses tend to be in the lowest rung with regard to revenue. A lot of service oriented as opposed to products, which when you sell products, you make exponentially more. So I just say take a little time to really develop your idea and do the research, because that is what leads to that long-term success and sustainable success.
Thank you. That's very, very good information.
One last piece I'd like to ask. And this is what we talk about. Right. This is really what we do.
I get it. This is why we do this.
And right? It's to me, as Shaheewa said, do your research. And as I always say, it's getting the back of your house together. Like she said, you may be great at cooking or whatever it is that you're doing, but get you a team together, a marketing team, a lawyer, an accountant, a CPA, public relations. Get a what do they call it? It's not necessarily a board of directors, but
brain trust.
There you go.
A brain trust of people that you trust.
Absolutely.
That have your best interests at heart. That not are looking to take you down. 6 months from now.
Absolutely.
And and if you can't afford all those people, well, at least see if FMU has a marketing student that can come intern.
There you go.
And I was about to go to you, Sharee. Sharee, tell me, what do you think? Because you're talking to students, what would you want them to hear?
Definitely want them to stay current in their craft, right? You're always learning. Things become outdated, especially in my field. So you want to make sure, like the social media thing, it's evolving. One day it was, Instagram is taking off, but now it's TikTok, right? So you need to stay current with TikTok. How do you work that? How do you merge all three together? Are you on TikTok, Jay?
Oh, no, 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 no. No. No,
Awesome.
no,
We're on TikTok.
You're on TikTok?
Yeah.
I'm not. Hey, look, I got
Our
the
chamber
business
is.
on Twitter and LinkedIn like crazy and
Right.
Facebook like crazy, but we're not talking yet.
Okay, we're not talking.
Better start talking, Jay.
Yes. Are you going to be TikTok? You got to.
That's all I hear.
Yes.
Really?
And creating those
Really?
little reels, those videos, learning how to do that from your phone.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming if you don't know, but definitely in my field and many other fields, staying current in your craft is something that I would tell students. And also creating multiple streams, that's important in case one takes a downfall. You want to make sure that you have something else that you can depend on, especially if you're looking into the entrepreneurial realm. So that would be my advice.
I got to tell you, and you real quick, I got to hitchhike on what you just said, Sharee. When my business is 22 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
We used to only place people in finance, accounting, and banking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Up until 2010. That's all I did. Fish in a barrel, banking. That's it. 2010 happened, and my 5 clients, Morgan Stanley, Bear Stearns, JP Morgan Chase, and a couple of other companies that we were doing business with, they tanked. They blew up, right? What did we have to do? We had to completely reinvent the business in 2010. Right. I'll never do that. That will never happen to me again. I will never, ever have all of my eggs in one basket. I will always be diversified. So I had to say that. You make a really, really good point, because we were happy, fat, dumb, and happy, thinking that this is the way it's going to be forever.
Right.
And in 2010, Morgan Stanley and a bunch of other people had to get bailed out by the federal government. So,
hey, Jay, right. I'm going to put it in a different term that a good friend of mine calls it. You got to have more than one popcorn stand.
Exactly.
I've never heard that, but that's
true. That's interesting.
That's a new one.
I like it. I like
it too.
Hey, wait a second, guys. Before you guys run off, I need to pay the bills and thank the sponsors and stuff like this. And again, I'll come back to that. But I want to thank our sponsors, DeMesman and Dover, personal injuries attorneys, Victor and your crew. We certainly could not do this without you guys. Thank you very much for all that you do for not only supporting Black businesses, but supporting HBCUs as well. I know that you actively support Florida Memorial University, so thank you for all you do. Career Source South Florida, thank you for all you do. I want to kind of take a second to do a plug about Career Source South Florida. Basically, every week, these guys put jobs online and you can apply for. And they're not just like little jobs. They're jobs that basically are life-changing jobs where you could, get an insurance recovery associates for $61 an hour, physicians for $42 an hour, a deployment manager for $36 an hour, human resources business partner, $33 an hour, a data integration specialist, $26 an hour, an IT support assistant, $20 an hour, bookkeeping or clerk, $17 an hour, workforce mobile unit driver, $15 an hour, and an office clerk for $12 an hour. But anyway, the reason why I say this is purely because of the fact that each and every week they change these jobs, and you can go to find the right job for you. I also want to thank AARP and as well as Miami Research, all of us. Thank you guys for supporting us. Thanks for all that you do. And finally, guys, again, you guys wear a lot of hats. Eric and Shaheewa, Sharee. Thank you for taking the time to do this. It's intentional. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure that one of these kernels of nuggets of gold that you've just given, somebody's listening, and somebody's going to take that information and perhaps do something with it. So I really appreciate what you're doing, and I think that if it is to be, it's up to all of us, and you guys are making yourself accessible and making a difference. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And I got to tell you, that's it. This show ran. It was such an interesting conversation. It ran over, but thank you very much. I really, really appreciate your time. Take care.
You
You guys have a great, productive week.
You as well.